Hello and welcome to our podcast. We are excited to be back after a brief break, almost a month. Hope you all missed us. I am Chiradeep and with me is my co-host Neeti.
Thank you very much, Chiradeep, and thank you everyone. The statement we just added that we hope you missed us because that's what we want to believe, even if you did not, but putting the right thoughts in your mind. So to begin with, I know we've kept the topic, which might sound very strange, or you might not have at least, or rather, let me ask, could you just figure out what the topic could be all about? What are we going to talk? आज क्या बात करने वाले हैं हम लोग? कुछ idea?
I mean, the topic
Slightest
title is If I Am
honest.
So.
Honesty.
Okay.
All right. That's what Shehzad says. Shifali, do you have any idea of what could it be? Any field?
Honest in terms of everything, basically, whether it be corporate or relationship. That is what my thought process goes up to.
Okay. Pratibha, would you like to contribute?
Yeah, I think so that जैसे जो हम सोचते हैं हम अपने आप को प्रूव करते हैं कि जो हम कर रहे हैं और सोच रहे हैं वो सही है लेकिन वो शायद ऑनेस्ट नहीं है मतलब कि डीप डाउन वी नो दैट समथिंग इज समथिंग हम अपने आप को लाए कर रहे हैं बट वी ट्राई टू प्रूव दैट हम ऑनेस्ट हैं आई डोंट नो
I love all of your answers because it's all opposite direction.
Interestingly, Chiradeep, this is like setting the tone, and by the end, we'll again get back and ask, how did you feel? So there's an expectation and there's what you get out of the podcast.
Exactly.
So we would like to know. And I guess as I begin, you will get to understand or have a slight idea of what is it all about.
Yes.
So here, I would like to begin with a small, let's call it a question, a scenario. Then towards the end, I'll ask you people a question. So a father takes his 8-year-old son on a car drive. Sadly, there is an accident. Again, unfortunate, the father dies on the spot. And the son is seriously injured, taken straight to the hospital, right to the operation theater. The surgeon, the doctor, enters into the operation room, takes one look at the boy and says, I can't operate. He's my son. So, how's that possible?
May I?
Yeah,
of
please.
course.
Yeah, doctor is his mother.
Okay. What else? Shefali?
But we all think doctor should be a man. So first, everybody's thinking father's dead. Then how the doctor is?
Okay, that's
Pratibha's
perspective. Shehzad, what do you think?
What's the first thing that comes to your mind, Shehzad, Shefali?
It's like the father won't operate or even touch a small needle on his son because वो अपना खून है.
Correct.
तो कुछ
Father is
हो
dead.
गया है.
Father
तो
is
वो
dead.
अपना बेटा खो बैठेगा. Means an emotional bond will come in between over here. Though doctors have taken the oath, whatever oath that there is, that they will try surviving the patient or whoever it is. And lekin, after all, he's also a human being. He's also got a heart, a soul. और बच्चा जितने भी साल का हो, कितनी भी उम्र हो, बाप बेटे को कभी भी ये नहीं क्योर करेगा. He'll try his level best कि वर्ल्ड का सबसे बेस्ट सर्जन उसको क्योर करे, get him out well.
Shehzad, I am sorry to interrupt, but I said the father died in the accident.
लेकिन आपने
Okay.
I
hear. Acknowledge that perspective. Fine. Shefali?
My perspective, I just recollected a movie, Munna Bhai, MBBS, wherein it says that दुनिया में कोई भी हो, as a doctor, you can operate a person, and if it comes to a family member, you know, you don't tend to like you do not. You're so emotional that you cannot operate or you cannot treat that person at all. So
Okay.
even if that person is dead, obviously you cannot treat the dead person in this scenario. But when it comes to a doctor's life, uh, if some accident happens or anything, it is very difficult for a family member, whether it be a mother or any other family member who is a doctor, cannot,
Now,
you
who
know,
was the doctor actually? What is your thought about it? What is your perspective on that? Because father died.
father dead. So if they had an accident, the child and the father had an accident, right? So
Yeah.
here, I think the doctor is either a mother or any other family member.
Okay. Yeah. So Shefali is close, but still confused about the Pratibha is correct. Yeah.
Shehzad raised his hand.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that doctor in the OT might be the grandfather or something to the injured child.
Okay. Okay, Neeti, please carry on.
So actually, Pratibha was bang on,
Bang on.
right at the first guess. Yes, the surgeon was a mother, point number one. And as she rightly pointed out, the moment we think of a surgeon, especially if I would have taken the name doctor, doctor सुन के फिर भी एक बार लगता है कि हाँ हो सकता है मदर हो, बट स्पेशली जब हम लोग सुनते हैं सर्जन तो लगता है फीमेल कैसे हो सकती है, मेल ही होगा, राइट? व्हाट डू यू से चिरदीप?
No, we exactly don't think that way. But yes, like we are constantly like we are so confused about. I mean, ये जो ingrained है, जो अंदर है हम लोग का, like सर्जन होगा तो it ऐसा नहीं है कि we don't agree that हाँ फीमेल हो सकता है. Okay, a female can be a doctor, but when we give the name, we understand. Okay, we accept that. But सिर्फ सर्जन या डॉक्टर बोलने से ऑटोमेटिकली एक
फर्स्ट
थॉट आ
थॉट,
जाता है. Like we are constantly bombarded with information all day, every day, and to keep from feeling overwhelmed, our brain filters most of it out and holds on to just a handful. This filtered information becomes our shortcut, a mental filter we use to make quick decisions. This is kind of a quick decision. But do you know what another word for that shortcut is? Any guesses? What was that? Surgeon, doctor, matlab
मेल.
male. And we were confused. अरे father तो मर गया, ये कौन है? What is that called? That immediate thought that comes. Pratibha, as you correctly answered it, will you answer my question as well? What is that one word we suffer with?
Bias.
Oh my goodness. Pratibha is on fire today. Yeah, it's called bias. Neeti.
And when we think about these biases, they are generally shaped by our, first of all, our upbringing, our background, personal preferences, और 100% जो सोसाइटी हम लोग को बोलती रहती है, और वो जो जैसे अभी चिरादीप ने बोला, जो कांस्टेंट इंफॉर्मेशन हमारे अंदर जाती रहती है, ये सारा कुछ मिला के हम लोग अपनी चीजों को फिल्टर करके अपने एक सेट ऑफ बायसेस बना लेते हैं. और ये बायसेस जनरली जेंडर, जैसा अभी हम लोग ने देखा विद दैट एग्जाम्पल, जेंडर, रेस, कल्चर, कलर, स्किन कलर, इनके अराउंड होता है. वी कीप टॉकिंग अबाउट इट, वी कीप हियरिंग, ओ यू आर अ रेसिस्ट, ओ आई एम नॉट अ रेसिस्ट. ये सारी चीजें हम लोग बहुत कॉमनली सुनते हैं. पर क्या हम लोग ने ऐसे कुछ बायसेस के बारे में सोचा है which we rarely or we hardly talk about, हम लोग बात नहीं करते, but we still carry them with us? Can you think of such biases that are there?
Oh, I can think of 100.
Just one, if you can share.
आप अगर रेस्टोरेंट में जाओ और डोर पे अगर लड़का स्मोक कर रहा हो तो आप अंदर चले जाओगे, लेकिन लड़की स्मोक कर रही हो तो एक बार जरूर आप देखोगे और एक बार जरूर बोलोगे. मतलब अनडाउटेडली आपके मन में आएगा, अरे देखो ये बाहर खड़े होकर स्मोक कर रही है। मतलब इम्पॉसिबल है, किसी के मन में नहीं आएगा, मतलब इम्पॉसिबल।
इस बात पे प्रतिभा हमको तूने याद दिला दिया. My son was very small, very small. I mean, he would have been in first or the second standard. And as my daily routine, I was going to drop him to the bus stop. जैसे हम लोग जा रहे थे तो रास्ते, and it was winters, Delhi winters, बहुत ठंड पड़ रही थी. तो जब हम लोग जा रहे थे रास्ते में उसने देखा one of the house helps was sitting, shivering, and she was smoking. And my son just, mama, mama, देखो क्या, she's smoking. हमने कहा तो, अरे वो लेडी है. And I could not help myself. I was like, a 1-year-old is pointing out, not 1-year-old, a first standard child is pointing out. Then I just told him, बच्चे, स्मोकिंग पीना खराब है, स्मोकिंग करना खराब है. कौन कर रहा है उसे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? अगर if a male does, then also it's harmful. If a female does it, then also it's harmful. So let's look at it that way कि हाँ, she's smoking. And she's doing something which is not good for her health. So yes, Pratibha, 100%. जब, I mean, what would it be his age? 5 years, 6 years? और तब एक स्कूल जाता बच्चा 5-6 साल का अगर ये सोच सकता है, then yes,
एग्जैक्टली हमारे अंदर है, मतलब
हमारे
इतना
अंदर है.
ज्यादा सोसाइटी ने डाला हुआ है कि मतलब मैं बोल रही हूँ कि मुझे नहीं सोचना है, फिर भी मैं सोचूं, एक सेकंड आएगा दिमाग में, फिर मैं अपने आप को बोलूंगी हाउ स्टूपिड, दैट्स अ डिफरेंट स्टोरी. मैं जज नहीं करूंगी क्योंकि मुझे नहीं करना है, लेकिन मेरे दिमाग में आया तो तभी मैंने ये सोचा कि मुझे जज नहीं करना है. इतना इनबिल्ट है कि आपको पता भी नहीं है कि वो बायस आपके अंदर है एक्चुअली.
Shefali, you wanted to say something? Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
A second example which I can give, she gave about smoking. I would talk about the corporate, wherein when it comes to promotions. So even if we are working at the same level, and if even the work woman is working harder than a male, तो भी एक टाइम आ जाता है प्रमोशन के टाइम पे कि इट इज गिवन टू द मेल कैंडिडेट. एंड अगर बाय चांस अगर एक फीमेल प्रमोट हो भी जाती है इन दिस सिनेरियो, तो यही बोला जाता है कि प्रोबेबली शी इज डन समथिंग, यू नो, टू यू नो, शी मस्ट हैव कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड, और शी वुड हैव, यू नो, उसने कुछ बॉस के साथ किया होगा, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट रीजन शी इज गॉट दैट प्रमोशन. So there, that gender bias comes in place.
Yes, that is true.
I would just say ये दोनों biases फिर भी, because it's gender based, we talk about it. So these are some biases that we openly talk about it.
No,
We are yes.
openly about it. वो मतलब जो इनबिल्ट किया गया है हम लोग को जनरेशन टू जनरेशन की, यू नो, ओनली जैसे अपने इंडियन सोसाइटी इज मेल ओरिएंटेड सोसाइटी. तो जो भी काम होगा इट विल बी, मतलब अभी अगर कॉर्पोरेट काम है, इफ इट इज कॉर्पोरेट, only a man can earn money, and जो भी household है, it is for the female. So that is actually inbuilt in us. So that wherein if a promotion is coming in, that's why I said when it comes to corporate, when promotion happens, फटाक से ये बोला जाता है कि शायद उसने कॉम्प्रोमाइज किया है, या शायद उसने कुछ बॉस के साथ किया है, शी डन समथिंग फॉर द बॉस, एंड दैट इज द रीजन शी इज गेटिंग दैट प्रमोशन. वेरन अगर लड़के को अगर प्रमोशन मिल जाता है, देन सीधी सीधी बात ये आ जाती है कि ही इज वेरी हार्ड वर्किंग, ओवरनाइट ओवर टाइम करता है, मतलब देन
डिजर्विंग है.
Yeah, then that's the difference, that you're not compromised there. Whereas for a female, it comes to your compromise. So that bias, because it is the upbringing that we have, ki only a man is the earning bread and earner in the society.
Absolutely, completely agree with you, Shefali.
Anyway, that's a good question. That's a good discussion. And even I remember very simple. So I have a friend called Rashmi. So there is a bias. And oh, Rashmi, acha. So she how long she has been your friend? No, not she, he. Rashmi Ranjan. So Ranjan लगाना जरूरी होता है to make that name even the person of I mean female to male conversion करना पड़ता है. Anyway, that's a different topic. So that name पे भी हम लोग bias रख देते हैं. But हाँ, still understandable. वो year together वो जन्म से हो आ रहा है. So वो that's very natural. But there are few biases like the surgeon one, even the corporate one, even what Prativa shared, even when you shared about your son, these are all dangerous biases. So moving on, have you ever judged someone for wearing yellow socks to work? Yes, we just discussed something like that. Or assumed they're unhygienic because they wore the same outfit twice, or thought someone was rude just because they called elders by name, not sir or chacha. We Indians have that allergy when we see Westerners calling their chacha, uncle. They don't have culture, we say. They have culture. They have their own set of cultures that we don't have. So they call by name. Sasurji ho, koi bhi ho, except father and mother, everyone else they call, and there is no bhaiya or didi. They call by name. Except mom and dad, they call by name. They address other people, family members by name. We all carry quiet biases. Want to add to the list? Raise your hand. Let's hear it. We just did it. Okay. And Shahzad, you haven't shared. Do you have any bias? Something that comes to your mind?
No, sir.
Okay.
Right now, I'm totally blank.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
grasp the knowledge, getting from this meeting. So,
Okay. That's fine. Thank you. Yeah. Over to Neeti.
So because everybody was sharing their example, so Pratibha, Shehzad, I do not know whether Shefali was there or not in the episodes where Abhijit Pranjpe was one of our audiences. So today he could not attend our podcast, but when he heard about the topic, he wanted us to share one of the instances that happened in his life, which was जब वो कॉलेज में पढ़ता था तो उनके एक प्रोफेसर हुआ करते थे मिस्टर अजहर खान, जो कि प्रोफिशिएंट इन इंग्लिश, हिंदी एंड मराठी इवन बेटर देन अ फ्यू मराठी, मतलब रियल मराठी पीपल. उनकी लैंग्वेज की इतनी अच्छी प्रोफिशिएंसी थी. एंड ही यूज्ड टू बी अ लिटिल शॉर्ट हाइटेड and had a mustache. 20 years fast forward, Abhijit went to meet him. By the time he had grown a beard. तो अभिजीत ने उनको देखते साथ बोला, आप तो अफजल खान लग रहे. और this professor, being a professor, being a fun-loving and somebody who could crack jokes, उन्होंने एक स्माइल दी और बोला, अच्छा मैं छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज नहीं लग रहा हूं. And Abhijit was taken aback. That was the time he realized, because he is Azhar Khan, that's the reason the only resemblance could be a Khan, not anyone else. So this was his episode where he could understand the unconscious bias that he carried. And why we are calling it unconscious, the examples that were just shared by Chiradeep, ये कहीं ना कहीं हम लोग अनकॉन्शियसली करते हैं और हम लोग को पता नहीं चलता कि ये बायस से आ रहा है, हम लोग कर रहे हैं. So judging people just because of their clothes, just because the way they walk, and judging them on their work, on how serious they are. अगर कोई मीटिंग में शांति से बैठ के अपना काम कर, मीटिंग में बोल नहीं रहा, that means he is not working. तो ये और हमारे अंदर से आता है. These are unconscious biases. The biases otherwise, the gender, the race, the color, these are biases which we all talk about. But ये थोड़े subconscious level में है. So why we wanted to bring it out and what is our point? Our point is very simple. we unconsciously take side for or against based on our preconceived notions, again, shaped by our conditioning, patterns, or maybe past experiences. I hope we all are going to agree to it. And again, because they are unconscious, तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं जब हम लोग एक डिसीजन लेते हैं और पूछते हैं कि क्यों लिया, अरे गट फीलिंग थी, ले लिया। या ये बोलते हैं कि क्यों नहीं लिया, क्यों उसको अप्रूव नहीं किया, या क्यों उससे बात नहीं की, कुछ सही नहीं लग रहा था इसलिए बात नहीं की, या फ्लो में हो गया, बस अच्छा लगा. So we use these terms, but often or rather, we never pause and we ask ourselves that why did I feel so? What made me decide quickly about a person, a thing, or a situation? वो पॉज नहीं है हमारी लाइफ में सोचने के लिए ये जो डिसीजन लिया वो एक्चुअली लिया क्यों हम लोग ने.
Right. Even like, is it relatable? All of us relatable, right? Wondering why we are even talking about this. You must be thinking. Okay. Here's the thing: unconscious bias isn't always negative. हम लोग जो सोच रहे हैं कि unconscious bias can be always negative. No, it's not. It makes us act automatically, not intentionally. But sometimes it works in our favor too. Like when you instantly trust a colleague because they remind you of someone who once supported you in a tough time. That's a bias. It comes out like किसी को हम देखते तो we say that it's a very common word that we use, vibe. ठीक है? It's not vibe, it's automatic thinking process. किसी को देख के हम लोग को we remember someone we know or we have good relationship with in the past, that वो आ जाता है बीच में and we kind of befriend with that person. You haven't spent much time with them, but your mind associates that familiarity with like safety, and that opens a door of connection. And
So now,
Neeti, I just wanted to say, because we call it unconscious bias, or I would say it's a automated thinking pattern which comes out automatically. I would say sometimes when we realize, as you said, when we pause and when we sit with that thought and a little think over it before moving further, sometimes we feel ashamed of ourselves for thinking that way. And I don't know, I have felt that way so many times when, अरे ऐसा मैंने क्यों सोचा? Why I thought something negative about that person? It's because of my automated. ये कैसे? जैसे you also said it. अरे this 1-year boy, he is also. What am I doing as a mother? ये bias उसका दिमाग में आया कैसे? You just said it. Okay, you expressed it. So even I'm thinking that sometimes when we realize, we feel ashamed of ourselves. So sorry, please go ahead.
so basically I was now trying to relate to the topic, if we were honest. ये topic selection का reason ये था कि not that we are not honest, but when we take decisions, we do not pause and feel that where is this decision coming from? Is this decision based on our unconscious bias or facts? ये line हम लोग शायद सोचते भी नहीं हैं. So the only thing that we want, again, as our podcast goes, और जो हमारा अभी तक का trend है, what we want to talk about is self-awareness and owning our choices. That's the motto. That's why, if we are honest. So instead of living in an autopilot mode, saying, हो गया ना, अब कर दिया तो ठीक है, चलेगा. The point again is pause. Unconscious bias, जैसे अभी चिरादीप ने बोला, it happens automatically, not intentionally. So again, that अगर वो automatically हो रहा है तो कहीं ना कहीं it's making us feel powerless. हो रहा है. So now once we pause and we acknowledge that many of our actions are deeply ingrained, coming from these unconscious bias, then maybe the change of awareness brings out a change outside.
Correct. And it's like before we close, you must be wondering why we are closing so quickly this time. Before we close, we would love to hear from you. Can you recall a moment when you made a decision, big or small, based on an unconscious bias? Now, as you know, the meaning of the topic. So when, as I said, even Neeti also said, when it's an before we ourselves even think or realize that, I mean, we act over that automatic thought, and we just say it or we just feel it. So, so if you have something like that, you can share. Or is there a bias you have become aware of during this conversation? Something you now realize you have been carrying.
I guess एक bias चिरादीप जो हम लोग सारे carry करते होंगे is the people who matter to us.
Correct.
जैसे कोई भी जब हम लोग को पसंद आ जाता है तो वो कुछ भी करे हम लोग को एक बार के लिए सही लगता है. Gradually we remove the unconscious bias जब दिखता है कि वो बंदा खुश नहीं है. But एक बार के लिए instantly we support the person. So even that is an unconscious bias. So, and now as we open the platform for all of you to share, we also would want to hear from you. अब जैसे आप लोगों ने starting में बोला था, what were you expecting from this topic? Now understanding this topic, what are your views on the topic? And if you can think of, because again, why we are asking if you can think of any decision that you took on the basis of unconscious bias, जो अगर आपको लग रहा है, that would be the first step towards realizing, towards your self-awareness कि हाँ हमने भी ऐसा किया था. क्योंकि generally ये भी एक also, this is again an unconscious bias that we carry for ourselves. I am not biased. We all say that, but that's also an unconscious bias. दूसरे करते हैं, मैंने आज तक नहीं किया. हम सब ने किया है. So if we can,
we are not honest in that way.
Of course.
Okay. So not knowingly, not intentionally, because unconscious bias comes out automatically. It happens automatically. So we say we are honest, but if we are honest, truly.
Honest. So welcome, Madhavi, because you've joined pretty late, but I hope you could understand the topic and grab the conversation. So whenever you want to pitch in, contribute, and others, Pratibha, Shifali, Shehzad.
Madhavi ji exactly came when we were revealing the mystery. Yeah. Anyway, the podium is, and the microphone is yours. You all are TED speakers now. Please switch on your microphone and camera. Camera was a must today. But I know Madhavi ji must be working at home, cooking or something. I remember the last conversation.
हाँ, वही बोले थे आज माधवी जी से कोई नहीं पूछेगा क्या बना रहे हो कब आऊंगा.
Yeah, Avijit is not here, so nobody will ask.
Anyone? Yes, Shehzad.
Hi, good evening, Neeti, and good evening, sir. Yeah, so I'm so sorry again, I'm late, but I hope I'm not too late. So, first of all, happy Guru Purnima to everyone here. It's wonderful. And in fact, I thought, Neeti ma'am, that I missed all the previous sessions. I had this, sudden feeling. I think I'm missing something, because every Thursday I was looking forward to your webinars. And I'm still extremely sorry that I joined late. I just walked inside the house and I'm again, as usual, preparing dinner, listening to your insights. So yes, I think at times we are not too honest when we want to express our opinions, especially if we know that the other person is not open to listen to you. So you may call it hypocritical, but that's the way we've been conditioned. Because otherwise, people, say, "Oh my God, what a drastic viewpoint this person has." They cannot accept you the way you are. That is how the society, as you very rightly pointed out, sir, we've been conditioned. That's what I feel. But still, we must be at some point honest with ourselves, if not others. I think that's the communication which is important. If this is what you were getting at, I hope I've got the gist of whatever you were trying to speak about and discuss. Although I missed those wonderful stories, I'm so sorry about that. I think I'll go back to the recordings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then you will understand.
Over to you, sir.
Then you
Yes,
can
yes.
relate your own answers. Yeah.
But
Yes, I hope
Madhvi,
so.
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining. आपको sorry नहीं बोलना है. You rush inside the home and the first thing
Yeah.
that you do is switch on and be a part. Then you contribute. So we are truly grateful for all your efforts, and that's our motivation to go on.
Yes.
So yes,
No,
you
no,
got
I
the
am
gist.
grateful
Yes.
indeed to both of you, sir, ma'am, because this is something I really look forward to every Thursday. So, as I said before, I thought I've missed so many Thursdays. I kept looking at the calendar, but I
No,
didn't
we
get any
haven't
message
conducted.
from you.
You haven't missed
So I
anything.
thought probably, something, maybe not. I hope everybody is well. I hope everything is good. Keeping fingers crossed, saying a silent prayer.
How sweet.
Sorry,
Thank you for
I'm
your
being a little bit
wishes.
too honest.
Thank you for your wishes.
So, yeah, thank you once again, and over to you. Sorry, I've spoken too much.
No, no.
Thank you. Shehzad, you were about to say something.
Yes, ma'am. Uh, Ma'am, about this women concept and all that, and the biasism, whilst you both, everybody was discussing, I recollected one incident which my mother had to thrash me, like with, the belt and everything, because she was my mother. And I remember we were staying in Pune with my grandmother at Lulanagar, and we were returning from the market uh, home in rickshaw, and suddenly I caught a rickshaw, told her to sit in, but the moment we went inside and we were about to sit, I told my mom, see, this is a lady driver, and it was first time in my life I saw a lady rickshaw driver. uh, and my thinking was like, my mom, after all, she's a mother, so she saw my face and said, uh, we are Parsis. So in Gujarati, she said, "Ke su karo chhi? You want to catch another rickshaw?" I said, "No, no, no, it's fine with me." And then when we were at home, my mother was like, ये तूने क्यों ये पूछा ऐसा उसके साथ ऐसा बात क्यों किया कितना कमाती हो क्या करती हो and after all, she was, or she's, I don't want to insult my mom. She's my mom, but she taught me a very good lesson. She started bashing me. She started abusing me. She's like, she's a woman. She's earning for herself. She's earning for her family. You've got no bloody rights to ask a woman this. And वो दिन अभी भी मुझे याद है. And whenever I remind her, फ्लैशबैक आता है, मैं उनके साथ बैठ के ये डिस्कस करता हूँ. राइट नाउ तो शी कैन नॉट, लेकिन वो चप्पल हाथ में उठा के बोलती है, कुछ बोलना मत नहीं तो तेरे को घर से बाहर निकालूंगा. The second incident happened recently when I became very emotional and we were watching TV. और ये दो लेडीज ऑफ इंडियन एयरफोर्स के हैं, who took charge of Operation Sindoor. If you might all know, there were two lady of pilots, who gave a good lesson to Pakistan. I hope you all might be knowing it. And I was like, this incident of the rickshaw lady driver, my mother said, see, आप तेरे सामने ही है टीवी पे. And after all, my mother, she's 82 years old. उनके ताने चालू हो गए थे कि कितने साल की लड़की है, आगे बढ़ गई, तू किधर है, तूने ना कुछ अचीव किया है, कुछ भी नहीं किया है तूने लाइफ में। एंड आई सेड ओ मॉम, आप तो वापस वो फ्लैशबैक में चले गए। एंड बट देन आई वाज हैप्पी, आई टोल्ड माय मॉम कि आई नो व्हाट यू आर ट्राइंग टू से। लेकिन ये सब सुन के मेरे को यही लगा कि इट and even in newspapers we see ki, bus driver, rickshaw driver, conductor, and even Ola and Uber also started women empowerment, like uh, standing on their own feet. And Neeti ma'am, if in the start you would have said कि lady doctor surgeon थी, तो I would have said mother है. But you didn't say the gender, and neither you said anything. You just kept this, एकदम bomb. अचानक वो bomb रखा, the last part where the mother came out. Suspense वही था, I think.
that is one of the ways, शहजाद, जिससे हमारा unconscious bias बाहर आता है,
Yes,
पता
and
चलता है कि कितना ज्यादा ingrained है. But thank you so much, शहजाद,
ma'am,
शेयर
thank
करने के लिए. Really like. So now I'll go to Pratibha. Pratibha, if there is something that you would like to add here.
Not really. I don't know.
ठीक है, कोई नहीं. So Shifali is on the phone right now. So yes, thank you. And this discussion always helps, and that's the reason, one of the major reasons we shifted to Zoom is because of this heart-to-heart discussion, which helps us learn. So I hope we would continue these discussions going forward as well. So right now, before we leave you, we would want to close with a few thoughts. First one, as we discussed, becoming aware of our biases is the first step. And what matters is, after we realize that that's a bias we carry, what do we choose to do next? That's the first step.
Exactly. Can we hold ourselves accountable for the decisions we make after that awareness? That's where real change begins. Also, instead of rushing to conclusions, what if we replaced judgment with curiosity? Ask yourself, what else could be true? Instead of allowing that automatic thought to process through and we act over it, we say something. Let's just pause and ask ourselves, what else could be true about that person, about the situation, about anything that we have a bias about?
That reminds me, Chiradeep, जब हम लोग छोटे थे तो हमारे सारा टाइम we were curious. ये क्या है? वो क्या है? We used to ask so many questions without judging anything. As we grew up, that curiosity
goes
took
away
place.
and biases filled
Biases or
in and
judgments come.
replaced our curiosity.
So that's sad. And the only thing is, and we keep saying, बच्चे pure होते हैं. So let's also go back to becoming curious bachas the way we were.
Yes.
And let's not forget when
let's
we
not be childish though. Childlike होना चाहिए.
childlike, curious होना चाहिए, basic idea.
Yes.
Questions. So why we want to talk about it? It's like when we are curious, we ask questions. We'll not take decisions based on biases, the ones like we just discussed. We'll not make the other person feel embarrassed. Hence, we'll make the world safer for others. We'll come out to be more considerate about others, empathetic about others, rather than being rooted in our judgments. So, safer to show up, to speak, and to belong.
This isn't a one-time realization. It's a practice. इतना जल्दी होगा नहीं, जो सालों से बैठा हुआ है हमारे दिमाग में. Keep checking in with yourself. Okay. You have to be very accountable. Or I would suggest keep a close friend who can watch over you and keep asking him or her. Okay. Because the more we notice, the more conscious and intentional our choices become. Why I'm not suggest you to accountable. I mean, keep a close friend with you, because sometimes close friend भी bore हो जाओगे, then you will do your own way. Okay, so if you realize yourself, okay, it will be better. Neeti, what do you think?
Absolutely.
Yes.
और बस close friend वैसा रखना जो bias ना हो
Yeah, exactly.
आपको,
Exactly.
because then the purpose would be defeated if you have a friend who's
And a
always
close
biased.
friend should be outright, who can immediately
Point out.
Yes.
I have one, so I know how does it sound, and what kind of realization comes in.
Yes.
So, okay, that's about it for today. Thank you very much for being here today, for listening, reflecting. I hope we all did together, and also participating. So,
Yes.
your presence, as always, means a lot. Yes, Shefali, is there something that you would?
No, I want to understand one thing. It's a question to both of you. If we understand that, someone has passed an unbiased judgment for you, मतलब मेरे तक आ गया है कि किसी ने अनबायस्ड जजमेंट मेरे बारे में किया हुआ है, तो how a person should react to it on spot or maybe later on.
I mean, just correct me, Shefali, if I'm wrong. So you are trying to tell us that somebody has made an unconscious biased judgment, a biased judgment on you.
Yes, and I understood that part कि मेरे साथ में जैसे अभी मैंने एग्जांपल दिया था प्रमोशन के बारे में, so I know the reason why this has happened, कि why the other person got it and why I didn't get it. When I know this situation, I understand that this is an unconscious bias which has happened in the organization. But in this situation, I want to raise my voice. Malab, I want to raise my opinion. So in that scenario, malab, this, for an example, I gave this. But if I know that this has happened, how should I come up with,
Okay.
the
So,
thing?
Chiradeep, would you like to take up, or?
You can do that. I can also answer, but I would like you to answer it.
Okay, Shefali, so there are two things that you are trying to bring out here. One is an office environment where the scenario where I would not say you, let's take a female is not promoted, a male is because of an unconscious bias. If that thought is not based on assumption, but that's based on fact, I would say escalating, sitting with the facts and voicing it out, making it aware. At least I would not know what would the outcome be, but at least calling it out makes an entire difference, where the superior get to know they cannot get away with anything they do. So calling out, again, when I say calling it out, I do not mean to say aggressive, angry, assertive. Just being assertive, sitting with the facts and calling it out. That is what can be done when it comes to work environment. Secondly, so let me take myself there. If I get to know that somebody has spoken about me behind my back, which is coming from an unconscious bias perspective, I leave it. I will leave it until and unless the person wants to admit or come right on my face and have a conversation. पीठ पीछे बोलने वाले इतने लोग हैं, सबके साथ जा जाके अपनी एनर्जी वेस्ट करने लगे तो काम हो जाएगा. So why to do that? Instead, if
Sorry, can
someone
I?
of course, Pratibha.
मुझे वैसे ऐड करना है, वैसे मतलब एकदम ही आई डोंट वांट टू डिफेंड एनीथिंग, लेकिन जैसे अगर एक मेल था और एक फीमेल थी जिसको प्रमोशन मिलना था, और वैसे तो वो करेक्ट जो वो बोल रहे हैं वो मोस्टली करेक्ट होगा, लेकिन हो सकता है मेल को मिला हो तो दोनों को देखकर मेल को ही मिल, तो ये हमारी भी अनकॉन्शियस बायसनेस हो सकती है कि हम ये सोच रहे हैं कि मुझे इसलिए ही नहीं दिया क्योंकि मैं फीमेल हूँ.
इसीलिए प्रतिभा
मतलब
बोला कि अगर वो फैक्ट्स पे बेसिस है, दैट्स मेरा
करेक्ट
पहला सेंटेंस, अगर वो
करेक्ट,
फैक्ट्स पे बेसिस है तो
तो
फैक्ट्स लेके बैठो.
मे बी वही जो हम अनकॉन्शियसली हम भी बायस हो सकते हैं कि मुझे इसीलिए नहीं
100%
मिला क्योंकि मैं गर्ल हूँ.
मैं
ये
फीमेल.
हमारी भी बायसनेस हो सकती है अपने लिए.
Yes.
एब्सोल्युटली.
तो
इसीलिए
Yeah,
The decision
that's
has
it.
to be based on, thank you, Pratibha. Thank you.
I just want
Very valid.
to respond. Did you mark my word? Respond. So you said, how should I react? You don't have to react, because reaction वो ऑटोमेटिक होता है, वो भी ऑटोमेटिक होता है. So what Neeti said, three things he said in the beginning. The first part of her response to you, वो जो कॉल आउट करना है ना, वो रिएक्शन से नहीं आता है, रेस्पॉन्ड से आता है. सो यू हैव टू रेस्पॉन्ड, and responding to someone always comes after we reflect the situation, after we pause and thought about it, then only it comes. Reactions immediately आता है, before even we think or pause and sit with the problem, reaction unconscious bias जैसा आता है. So बहुत dangerous होता है. Okay, the first thing, you don't have to react. Not you, we all should be thinking about this reacting thing. We should be responding, and responding hamesha calmly, quietly, with time, timely hota hai, theek hai. So that is one thing I want to add, and what Pratibha ji said, that is absolutely fantastic. कभी कभी हम लोग सोचते हैं हमारे ऊपर सब बुराई हो रहा है. I'm not talking about Shefali, you. I'm just trying to say that, but कभी कभी हम खुद bias हो जाते हैं about ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
just an
But I
example.
understand, I acknowledge your problem.
When
Yeah.
we spoke about being biased, it was
Yeah.
just an example that I got up. Not because I had some personal experience,
Correct.
but yes, when I questioned right now, I have some personal experience which Chiradeep, surely you know about it.
Yes.
What happened recently, but
Yeah.
at that time neither did I react nor did I respond. So I didn't get answers to it. Even if I knew something, I didn't get answers to that situation. And for a couple of, say, maybe a month and a half, it did bother me. But now I've moved on from that situation.
Yes, because you applied the second part of what Neeti said.
Yes.
You ignored it. जो
I
आपको
ignored
डायरेक्टली
it,
नहीं
but-
बोला गया है, what you know फर्स्ट हैंड आपको पता नहीं है, वो आप जब किसी और से सुनते हो, दैट इज अगेन फिल्टर. ठीक है, वो
Right.
जितना हैव यू, वो चाइनीज विस्पर होता है ना, वो ऐसा होता है.
हाँ,
यू नो, कीप ऑन, आप जितना चैनल में जाओगे ना, वो फिल्टर होते होते आपके पास अलग आएगा.
सिचुएशन में
हाँ.
जो चाइनीज विस्पर वाला बंदा था, मैंने उसको पूछा भी था जिससे इंफॉर्मेशन आ रही है, कैन आई टॉक टू दैट पर्सन डायरेक्टली,
Absolutely.
but that person didn't allow me, or that person directly told me कि that person doesn't want to talk to me at all. तो वहां पे जब मेरे को मेरे आंसर्स ही नहीं मिले, जो गैप बढ़ गया, एंड लेटर ऑन fine, whatever happened, but that literally hurt me for a couple of days and months. But now I've made peace with it. I was like, now that I cannot go to that place again and mend things for myself, it's better I just forget it.
Thank you
You know
for
the
sharing.
situation very well.
Thank you
Really
for
sorry
sharing that.
to hear
Yeah.
that, Shefali.
Yeah.
Really sorry. I know it's tough, but the way you shared right now, it shows that you have come far.
I
You're
tell you,
sharing it as an episode.
not even episode, because of this one thing what happened, I lost my job. And I'm right now, and so there, that is the reason I wanted to understand ki how can I react, or maybe how can I respond.
Correct.
In both ways. So मेरे को वो एक solution चाहिए था, because when I got an information कि आपको निकाला जा रहा है for whatever reason, because मेरे को reason communicate नहीं करा गया था कि this is one particular reason. Yeah, even they didn't tell, even if they were not liking my work, they didn't ever come and tell me. They didn't have a one-on-one conversation with me. Ki, Shivali, this is what we are finding an issue with. If you could improve your work, it will be good. Or otherwise, we'll give it a call. तो मतलब वो सिचुएशन जब, और जिसने मेरे को कम्युनिकेट किया, he आई एम ऑल्सो एन एचआर, ही वाज ऑल्सो एन एचआर. तो जब मैंने उनको पूछा कि मैं उनसे जाके डायरेक्टली बात करूंगा, तो उसका एक ही रिस्पॉन्स था कि ही डजंट वांट टू टॉक टू मी ओनली अबाउट दिस एपिसोड. तो एंड मैंने जॉब मेरा छूट गया. मेरे को ना रिस्पॉन्ड करने के लिए टाइम मिला, ना रिएक्ट करने के लिए टाइम मिला वो टाइम फ्रेम. दिस इज द रीजन. मतलब हाउ, मतलब वो रिएक्शन कैसे दे सकते हैं उस टाइम पे, मेरे को वो जानना था actually.
I hope we could answer that part, Shefali. That sitting with facts, sitting, escalating, and just sitting with facts that what and questioning them. ऐसे सिचुएशन में जब ऐसे ही पता है कि निकाला जा ही रहा है, तो क्यों ना बात करके निकले, एटलीस्ट अपने आंसर. आइदर वे वी आर लूजिंग आवर जॉब. तो वो जो एक जॉब का फियर होता है जिसकी वजह से हम लोग सबसे ज्यादा चुप रहते हैं, दैट्स द बिगेस्ट फियर. वो फियर ही खत्म हो गया, सो व्हाई नॉट टेक इट फॉरवर्ड.
मैंने वही पूछा था उसको कि मैं डायरेक्टली बात करूं क्या, आई वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड. इट वाज क्लियरली टोल्ड टू मी
Communicated, yes.
that he doesn't want to talk to me about this topic only. मुझे उनको एक फीडबैक देना नहीं था, मेरे को आंसर देना ही नहीं था उनको. पहले तो मेरे को क्वेश्चन करने के लिए भी मौका नहीं दिया ऐसा.
We understand, Shefali. Even at least we acknowledge how difficult it would have been for you, and really sorry to know that.
No, it's okay, no worries. And thank you, Chiradeep, and happy Guru Purnima to both of you.
Thank you, Shefali. Thank you for your sharing, because on a public platform, when you know it's recording, it's been recorded and it will be go live. Probably you can share this podcast to your that boss if you have WhatsApp number. Anyway, probably you can say you can at least वहीं आप भड़ास निकाल सकते हो by sharing this link. I can say that. Okay, before we close, I just want to share a quick update. Due to a sudden shift in our work schedules, we will be moving our podcast to the weekends, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I don't know.
So, Madhvi ji, no more waiting for Thursdays.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I think it's a blessing in disguise.
Wow. So,
Yes, I hope so.
You manifest it.
You will be present the whole time, Madhviji.
Yes,
You are
keeping
present,
fingers
but fully
crossed.
present.
Yes, fully present.
Like,
Good.
even if it is a weekend, keep it in the evening time. Mornings are too lazy.
Okay. What an honest
Weekend
confession.
morning or evening, ma'am?
We will decide. We will decide and
Acha, sir.
update you.
Okay. Whichever ways, I am in bridging paths.
Yes. Thank you so much. You
Yes.
have already crossed over the bridge.
Yes,
We
thank you.
understand weekends can
If
be
I
packed.
may say something to Shefali, can I?
Yes,
Of
please go
course.
ahead.
So Shefali, ma'am, your experience is quite hard. I felt a little pang when you said, the other person didn't even want to give you a chance to speak up or discuss. Oftentimes, we face such situations in life where people, they don't want to face or they don't want to discuss it and, explain their motives or explain why they behaved in a certain manner, because they themselves are not wanting to discuss a difficult situation which you faced. However, I think at that point of time, maybe a bit of numb feeling you might have felt, and you probably may not have responded or reacted and just become silent or something like that. That is what I can perceive, ma'am, from the way you spoke. Believe me, many people go through this many times. I think when everybody becomes a little bit more emotionally intelligent, we will communicate much more effectively. And I think that will be truly the time then, as your name suggests, sir, we will really bridge the paths. We'll bridge the gaps. That is what I feel. I didn't mean to say it anyway, anyhow. I don't know if my words are even worthy of making you feel better, but I felt a certain pang when you said it.
As
Thank you so much for
Shefali has already
understanding.
It
shared that.
happens in even in families, ma'am. It's
Yeah.
not just
It
a
does
job.
happen.
Shefali is
Yes.
cool now because she has moved up.
Yes, that
Moved
is the
ahead. Yes.
most, yeah, that is the most heartening thing to know, and you should keep moving forward, ma'am. ये जो भगवान ने ये जो दो पैर दिए ना, ये आगे बढ़ने के लिए दिए, पहिए के जैसे, keep moving forward. You never know when your wings will open and you'll fly.
Thanks to my husband.
And the
that-
same people will come back and say sorry to you, or probably they'll want to get back to you.
No, probably he wouldn't because he's the director of the company. So he will not surely come back.
Make sure
No,
he
but he
listens
may
to-
appreciate your work on LinkedIn or any professional
I
platform
do
where
not
you
follow
project it.
him, and I don't want him to follow me on LinkedIn. That's all.
Okay, that's cool. That's superb. Anyway,
But thanks
thank
to
you.
my husband who was there as a backbone. Matlab, he kept supporting me. He doesn't pressurize me for anything. And yeah.
Yes. What I
Very,
meant to say
very
was that these things, what you have faced, also happens between relatives and families.
actually it does happen. Does
Yes.
happen. Absolutely.
That's because we do not know how to communicate, either honestly or hypocritically, or just push everything under a rug. We don't want to face it. We don't want to respond. We don't want to react. Sometimes we just become numb to the situation. So there are many things which happen.
Thank you
Anyway,
so
sorry,
much.
ma'am.
Thank you so
So
much,
I
all of
just
you. Yeah.
couldn't help expressing myself,
Yes. Yes.
to be truly honest.
That's fine. That's fine, Madhvijay. Neeti, we are good to close.
Yes, thank you so much, all of you. And as we've already discussed, Chiradeep has given an advice, unsolicited advice to Shefali to go ahead and share this link with the director.
Yeah.
However, if you feel that there are people around who need support and understand their unconscious bias, please feel free to share our YouTube channel. Chiradeep, would you be kind enough to drop in the channels in the chat box?
Yeah, I will do that.